Shalom. I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. I myself am not a part of GMS, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, I was led to them. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, the Shabbat Dabuah. And we're going to get a little bit into Genesis 2nd chapter. We're not going to go too deep in. I just want to get some points out in it just to, bring out some edification and, Yahweh Ratazah, the Spirit leads me. I break down every single little piece of it, but we'll just start at verse 1, right? It says, thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And the seventh day the Most High ended his work which he had made, and rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. You see, on the seventh day, remember, right? You see, and the Most High blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that it had rested from all the work which the Most High created and made. So now, understanding this, these other camps and a lot of other people too, and besides other camps, they go off based off a calendar. Now it's going off because there's nowhere in the scriptures where it says they went off a calendar, and I'm gonna throw some out there. I'm not even gonna throw any camps out there. They know if they know, but and the scriptures also say they changed the times and the laws, and that's what the calendar was for. The calendar was supposed to make us, be a imprisonment to our mind. That's why when we were in school, we were going off of what? A 7-day based calendar, where it was like a system to keep rotating our mind. And we had to go to school, which is damn near like a prison. We learned nothing. I don't even, me coming out of, high school, I learned nothing, man. Nothing. I don't remember anything. And it hasn't even been a couple years, man. So just understanding that that's a doctrine of the devil. That is a philosophy of the devil, right? We don't go off calendars. We go off based off the new moon. The moon cycles is what basically you could say the moon cycles is what shows us where we're at in certain times, right? Genesis 2 and 4. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth, which they were created in the day of Yahweh. The Most High made the earth and the heavens and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb in the field before it grew. For Yahweh power has not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. You see, I want to get that word till. There was no man to till the ground. So that word till, let's get this. It means
Strong's H 5647. Avad.
So avad, it means to work, to serve, to labor, to work, to do work, to be worked, to be tilled, to make oneself a servant. You see, to make oneself a servant, servant, right? Servant. And then if you get to work, implication to serve. Yeah, you could say serve, right? To serve. Yeah, so, and now let's get out of this and let's go back to serve. So a servant to serve. And then it says, but there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground, and Yahweh power formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life and became a living soul. Now, what means the dust forming dust, the dust meaning like lowest state, it means he brought him from a lower state, and that breath of life is that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and also the law, statutes, and commandments. Now, going forward to prove that the man, he was already here, it's just right here, 2nd Ezra 3 and 5, and gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands. You say, and gave us a body unto Adam without soul, and was with workmanship of thine hands, and did his breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. See, that breath of life, he was made living, right? And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before ever the earth came forward. See? Now I don't want to get too far. I'll get the next one. I don't want to get too far into it right this second. But yeah, so that formed from the dust of the ground was meaning low estate. And if you go into the scriptures and understand that we are likened unto we're at right now, we're at a lower state also. You know, the sons of God, well, the sons of, you know, righteousness, we're at a lower state also right now. You know, through our disobedience, you know, and going more into it. But yeah, so breathe into that breath of life, and that breath of life is wisdom, right? Wisdom, Psalm 7:25. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. Then it says, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of His goodness. You see? So that breath of life is wisdom. You know, let's see if there's any more. Yeah, so for God loveth but him that dwelleth with wisdom. So yeah, it's, you know, it's wisdom. That breath of life is wisdom. And then verse 8, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man whom he had formed. You see? Right? And you know, going into that, we were supposed to be immortal. Which we'll get that. This is Wisdom of Solomon. Verse 23. See, so Adam was immortal, basically. Yeah, Adam was immortal. Wisdom of Solomon 2:23. For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. And when he breathed into that breath of life, you know, he was immortal, man. You know, he just immortal. And going into prophecy, we know that when we get beamed up into them chariots, or send up into them chariots, that our body, that corruption will put on incorruption, and that mortal will put on immortality, or we receive our state again. Remember, to us sinning, I get there. I'm going, you know, jumping a little too far ahead, but let's get there. And Yahweh power planted garden eastward of Eden. There he put a man whom he had formed. And then it says, and out of the ground made Yahweh power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life, and also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, right? And the tree that was in the garden of Eden was not actually wooden trees. They were nations of people, you know. So right here, they were nations of people. The trees are likened unto nations of people. And to prove that, we can get Ezekiel 31:8. And it says, the cedars, let's start at let's go to see the cedars in the garden of the Most High could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of the Most High was likened unto him his beauty. You see, I had made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High imbibed him. You see? You know, and Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai chose Adam above all the trees. That's why he breathed into him the breath of life. You know, when you get verse 9, these trees were actually nations of people. Right? I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of the Most High imbibed him. Now let's get that word imbibed. Envied. It might be envy. Slakia. Envied. I didn't see that correctly. To envy, to be jealous, right? To be jealous. He made him perfect in the image of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And that just shows you that Yahweh Shai was also Adam, if your spirit can receive it. But yeah, we can get that real quick. You know, this is more of a various topics. You know, 1 Corinthians 15:45. And Adam, you know, was called the Son of God. You know, that was the sons of God. The beginning of the sons of God, sons of righteousness. Salakia. Right, so 1 Corinthians 15:45, and so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. You see, and who was the last Adam? Yahweh Shai. And who was the first Adam? Yahweh Shai. You see, was made a living soul. So Yahweh Shai was made a living soul, and the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. And doesn't Scripture say, I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end? You see, the beginning and the end, and that's stating Yahweh Shai. So that just goes to show you that Adam was Yahweh Shai. So yeah, he made, you know, out of, you know, to envy him, to be jealous of him. You know, going back, Genesis 2, right? And let's go back to, and the tree of life. The tree of life, the tree of life was the righteous seed, the nation which the Israelites would come through. Just stating that the nations where the Israelites will come through. Let's get Matthew. What is it? 13. Let's go to Matthew 13 and 30. Right here, Matthew 13, and we'll start at 37. And he answered and said unto him, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, which is the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. And going into Genesis 3, we'll get that a little bit. And when Adam and Eve went off about the tares of the children of the wicked one, the enemy that sowed them is the devil, and going into that serpent, we'll get into that. But so that the tree of life was the righteous seed, the nation which the Israelites would come through, so let's go back and let's get Genesis 2 and 9. It says, And out of the ground made Yahweh power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life, and also the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And the tree of knowledge was the other nations, basically, that we were not to follow, because we were the Heavenly Father's righteous seed, or the righteous tree, and He had given us only the law, statutes, and commandments. And to prove, well, let's get Isaiah 61 and 3. It says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, to the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called the trees of righteousness. You see? Trees again, the trees of righteousness, the planting of Yahweh, that He might be glorified. You see? So it goes right here in the tree of knowledge and good and evil. So. And then it says, verse 10, And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. And we'll skip to verse 15. And it says, And Yahweh the power took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Now, you got to go into these scriptures. Break down these definitions. Scriptures say, study, show yourself approved, dividing, and where to shoot, you see about again. Our precept upon precept, line upon line, to work, to serve, to labor, to work for another, to serve. So he was made to what? Serve Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Also, it means to guard or to protect, to be worked, to compel, to labor, to cause, to serve, keep bondage, bondman, bond, dress, worshiper, right? To serve, to till, servant, work, worshiper, service, dress, labor, ear. Yeah, so he was, to guard it, basically. So now let's go back to let's go back to 15. And Yahweh power commanded the man, saying, Of every tree of the garden thou mayst freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in that day thou eatest, therefore thou shalt surely die. Now this is the main point where I wanted to get into, right? But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in that day thou eatest, therefore thou shalt surely die. So that was a command. You see? Command. It was a commandment. It was a commandment, a command for you not to do it. Now the wages of sin is death. Now if he breaks that, it would lead on to death, right? And Yahweh power said, It's not good for the man should be alone. I'll make him a help me for him. And going into this, Eve was taken out of his rib, which is, allegorical, which means basically taken out its kinsman, which ultimately goes into bloodline, and that's where Eve was, and Adam and Eve were already here. So just understanding that. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. You know, so they were both they were fresh, you know, they were clean. They didn't sin, you know, they had no sin. They were not corruptible. Let's put it like that. And, you know, other words, you could put in more other words, but let's get Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which craft means crafty, which Yahweh power had made. And he said to the woman, yeah, had the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden, right? And so going into this, that you know, they ended up the serpent, which was a man, ended up deceiving, you know, Eve. That's why the scriptures say, Ecclesiasticus 25:24, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Because remember, that serpent ended up deceiving Eve first, then Adam. That's why the scriptures also say, for the grain of the evil seed has been sown in the heart of Adam from the beginning. And how much ungodliness has it brought up into this time, and how much shall it yet bring forth unto the time of thirsting come. So you could plant a good seed and an evil seed, and that evil seed that was planted was from the devil, which is going back to that serpent. You know, if one each spirit could receive, it was Esau, and it was Esau's spirit inside that serpent. But yeah, so they ended up that serpent ended up deceiving Eve. You know, let's get right here, it's verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and it was pleasant for the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, you see that these different philosophies that they was going into, she took of the fruit thereof and did not eat, and gave also, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. You see, so he ended up through Eve. That's why through Eve we all die. And he took it, and the eyes of them were both open, and they knew that they were naked. You see, they knew that, and sewed figs together and made themselves aprons. They knew that they sinned. They knew that they went off. That's what it's talking about. Because when you go, let's get blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth. Right here, Revelation 16:15. It says, blessed, it says, behold, I come as a thief. You see, as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Yeah, not prepared, not ready, walking in iniquity, following the ways of this world, going into the different philosophy of this world, not having your mind on, point, open, sinning, doing, go into a lot of things of it, right? So yeah, and it also touching into that right here, it says, for the Most High does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. You see, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil, not unknowingly that starting we was already supposed to be immortal. Well, to the man, right? Right here. And I gave us a body unto Adam. Oh, Salakia, this ain't the one. Salakia. Right here. Wisdom Solomon 2:23. For the Most High created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. You see? And when you get Wisdom of Solomon, if we get Wisdom of Solomon, Wisdom of Solomon 1, we'll start at 1 in the GNT. We'll show you that men bring death upon their own selves. Let's get verse. This is verse 12. It says, yeah, we'll start at 12. And see, it says the title is, the Most High did not create death. Do not bring on your own death by sinful actions. The Most High did not invent death, and when living creatures die, it gives him no pleasure. He created everything so that it might continue to exist, live on forever, and everything he created in wholesome is good. There is no deadly poison, no death does not rule this world, for the Most High justice does not die, which means righteousness does not die. Ungodly people have brought death on themselves by the things they have said and done. You see? So that's what it ties back into here. You create everything that might, exist and keep going on. For the Most High created man to be immortal, made him to be an image of his own eternity. But remember, that evil seed was planted in Adam's mind, right? It's from the beginning. And through Eve, we all died. So we ended up what? Through Eve, we ended up all dying. Because Eve, convinced Adam, to eat. Boom, he ate, and this is where we're at now. Now let's get back to 2nd Esdras 3 and 5. Let's get to show you that Adam was breathed into, that breath of life was also talking about the law, statutes, commandments. And unto him thou gave his command to love thy way. You see, a commandment. So he had the commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed. And what? Sin is the transgression of the law. So that law was there, and immediately thou appointest death in him and his generations. Of him who came nations, tribes, peoples, kindreds out of number. You see? So appointest death in him and his generation. So his sinful action brought him to death. They brought it onto them own selves. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua didn't. Well, he didn't create death. They brought it onto them own selves. So I just wanted to, go through a few points here. I think I might be done. I didn't want to get, too far into it. I can get right here. Genesis 3:14. Yahweh power said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above all every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and thus shalt thou eat all the days of life. And that's going back, to Esau, because that spirit of Esau was in that serpent, so. Right here is going into, I'll put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and thou shalt bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And that's when Yahweh Shai returns, and the missiles get launched. It's going to bruise Esau's head, man. And then verse 16, on to the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception and sorrow. Thou shalt bring forth children. Thou shalt desire to beat thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. See, so the husband was automatically to rule over the woman, and bringing sorrow onto the woman. The woman has to go through pain now. When she gives birth, she has to go through pain when she gives birth. And in the kingdom, obviously this is going to be changed around back to the Garden of Eden, basically, in the start, before they transgressed and went off. So you look at what they, look at it from the first point of view before they went off. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be paradise, which you get verse 2 3:6, and thou leadest him into paradise with thy right hand had planted. You see, and the right hand, who sits at the right hand of Yahweh Shai, before ever the earth came forward, it was already planted, and thou leadest him into paradise. So just to go show you that all this right here, it also could it shows you basically, you could say prophecy. You could if you can understand prophecy, this will make more sense to you. Then we read 17, and unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, listen to the voice of his wife, and has eaten of that tree of which I commanded thee, saying, you see, it was a commandment, thou shalt not eat of it. Curses the ground for thy sake, and sorrow thou shalt eat all the days of his life. You see, so that brought forth us being mortal, because when you get Psalms 82 verse 6, for ye are gods, let's get that real quick. Psalms 82 verse 6. See, I have said ye are gods, and all you are the children of the Most High. Talk about the Israelites. You see, ye are gods. Our natural habitation is gods. And when you go into this word gods, which I'll get real quick, God means Allah. Allah. Well, let's play it real quick.
Strong's H 430, entry 1. Eloach. Eloach. Second entry, Elohim. Elohim.
So God means.
And the third entry,
bro.
Eloach. Eloach.
So God means Allah, and God's means Allahayim. So this should be Allah, and God's means Allahayim. Allahayim. So, and what it means, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, you see, because angels are likened unto gods. And that just goes to show you that, they're likened unto gods, divine ones. Yahweh Shai was a divine one. He wasn't ultimately a god because, he could have been likened unto a god. He formed liked because of what he could do, but, he could still die and he could feel pain. So he was in this mortal flesh still. He was mortal. if you want to put in that aspect, you could say it different ways, but right, God's in an ordinary sense, but especially used the supreme God applied, God. So yeah, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, work or special possessions of the Most High. You see, these are the Israelites, the sons of God. See, so let's get the root word, and we'll probably close off right here. God, false God. Yahweh Ratazah, I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise to that Heavenly Father Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. And I'm going to get double honors to apostles, elders, and bishops, the great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. Shalom.